Hello everyone, I am Maddox Brown with New England MMA News, and I'm here with Ruben Bitar. How you doing, Ruben?
I'm all good. Thank you very much for having me on your show. It's an honor to be here. All's good.
Thank you for coming on the show. Since you're new to the show, we're gonna start with how you got into the sport of MMA. So how did you get into the sport?
Yeah, the way that I got into MMA was my childhood friend who was kind of into that sort of thing. His name was Abudi. Shout out. He showed me a Conor McGregor trash talking video to Jose Aldo after he knocked him out for the belt. This was right after, so this might have been like early 2016. And I thought like this is the most entertaining and like craziest thing I've ever seen. It's amazing. Like I had to get involved and I wanted to I was doing maybe a little bit of like casual martial arts at the time, some kickboxing or whatever. Um, and my kickboxing coach, his name was Akil. This was very casual. Maybe I was like 30. I trained with him from like 11, 12, 13. He was actually a jiu-jitsu brown belt at the time. And maybe when I was like 15, 14. I'm not sure the exact age, but he started training me a little bit in jiu-jitsu. And after that, he had to leave the country. And then I sort of didn't train for a while. And then I sort of picked up at another gym. And I was, very interested in MMA at the time, but I was actually living in a country called Qatar. It's a small country. And in that time, there really wasn't any MMA gyms. So I was training jiu-jitsu, very interested in the sport. But it was everything was casual because like there was not really any jiu-jitsu competitions in that country much. So I was just training, watching UFC, having fun, and that's how I got into MMA.
So how did you find your current gym?
Yeah, so back to basics. I'm a Northeastern student. I live in the area. And after I knew when I came over to the US because I came over here for college that I wanted to train MMA. And my first year, I joined a gym which was kind of far from where I was living, and I barely trained. It was like a journey to get there, and I was like, very like stressed out from school. I wasn't doing much. So I was like, damn, like I need to just find the closest gym to me because that's the only way I'm going to be training consistently. And it was a goal of mine. Like I wanted to pursue this, but I knew I needed a good setup, so. I just literally searched up the closest gyms to me, made a phone call. My coach Jeff I didn't know him at the time, obviously. He's like, yeah, come by whenever you want, train. And I was like, bet. So I pulled up and it was amazing. From the first week, I knew it was a great gym and I'd be committed to staying there for a long time, short distance from my house, and it's been great ever since.
So now we're gonna get into your upcoming fight. You're fighting Eric Zane at Cage Titan 68. Can you give us your thoughts on Eric and how you see this fight playing out for you?
Yeah, I see him as a strong wrestler. He looks like an athletic guy. He looks quick. He looks good, I guess. But I don't look too much into each opponent, to be honest. I just briefly watch his fights a bit. I don't really care too much, to be honest. I think, honestly, I think there's no bad matchups for me right now. This is my third wrestler that I'm fighting back to back to back, so I don't mind. I'll have the length advantage on him like I did to the other guys. Super chill. I'm confident in my wrestling, confident in my anti-wrestling, confident in every aspect of MMA. So I think this is a good matchup for me, not just based on who he is, but I think everybody would be a good matchup for me as far as I can see with these amateurs in the local area right now, a lightweight. That's all.
Have you seen any weaknesses in Eric's game? If you have, just explain them and how you could use them to your advantage.
Honestly, honestly, I didn't really study his game much. I think at the amateur level like this now, it's almost not even like worth it too much to look into each opponent. That's sort of the same mentality my coach has. Like we're just focusing on me, my fight plan, my fight game, my improvements, my cardio, my fitness, everything like that. So I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna force whatever I want on him. Obviously, he's gonna be doing his thing in there. So I'll be fighting like a reactionary as well to whatever he's doing. So I think it's a fine matchup with me and for me, and I'm confident heading into this fight. No worries.
What do you think will be your keys to victory in this fight?
Yeah, so my keys to victory, I think there's gonna be many keys to victory. One option would be I'll strike him in the feet. Another option would be to submit him if he gets me down. If I want to, I might throw in a takedown myself, take him down, so get a submission. I also like my chances of getting a ground and pound TKO. I think I have many keys to victory. I don't think there's one path, and I'm not gonna force one path in the fight. There's many ways I can take this fight. I feel like it's in my control, and I can end it in many different places, many different ways.
Who are going to be some of your key training partners in this training camp?
Yeah, so my main MMA sparring training partner is Eric Hugh. He's also fighting on the same card. So we do a lot of rounds together. He's also in my weight class, so it's perfect. We train a lot. In terms of MMA, I go over to Sityodtong on Saturdays, and I train with a lot of guys over there. Louisiana, one guy, Phil's another guy over there. There's many guys over there, and those are the guys I do MMA with. On top of that, in my gym and back to basics, we have very high level grapplers, very high level strikers. So in grappling, I have a guy in my gym called Roger Santos. He's like very high level jujitsu. So he's always like pushing me and like making me learn new shit and making me like, improve my game continuously, catching flaws in my game. I improve it, and then he catches more flaws. It's perfect. I keep improving and improving. In terms of striking, I think one of the guys I do a lot of rounds with that's very high level striker in my gym is his name is Everett. He has very good Muay Thai. He's a long rangey guy, so I know if I'm able to strike and stand with him, I can stand and strike with these shorter, stockier wrestlers. And we even have there's so many guys. There's so many guys. So it's good. It's been going great.
What do you think this fight will do for your career moving forward? If you get a win, could you see a title fight after this?
Yeah, so that's what I was planning for. I was on Table Titans, and I think Pulver mentioned it. He was saying after this 3-0, it's going to be a good chance for a title shot. So I want to go out there, put on a good performance, get a good finish, and then I want the amateur title next, lightweight. Simple, simple as that.
How do you think your past two fights have helped you prepare for this fight?
Oh man, they helped a lot. They helped a lot. My first fight, I didn't know what to expect. I was just like, yeah, let's do it, whatever. And I went out there, and it was, a big stadium packed with people. I thought I dealt with the pressure and everything fine, but I realized from that fight that I have to go into these fights very calm, very loose, very relaxed. That's something that I realized after the first fight. Um, Not that I was not happy with my performance, but I was just I realized, and I was watching videos, and I saw some clips, and like, being tensed and too aggressive, that's not going to be optimal. So my second fight, I came with a very clear head, very clear minded, and I felt no pressure. I walked in there, and I felt loose, I felt relaxed, and I could see my opponent was tense. And if my opponent's tense and I'm relaxed, that's already an immediate advantage on my end. So going to the third fight, I'm gonna be calm, composed, relaxed. I'll see every twitch in his muscles. I'll be able to see his shots coming because I know he's a heavy wrestler. He's gonna come for some heavy double legs. He's gonna try and be shooting on me. So I'll be able to manage those much better. If you're like all tensed up, like I was in my first fight, that's kind of why I was getting taken down a little bit, is because I was too tensed up myself, trying to be too aggressive in a sense that I wasn't reacting well enough to what I normally would, where I usually wouldn't be getting taken down. In that fight, I got taken down. So the first fight helped me a lot. And the second fight, it just gave me confidence to show that, like, even though the last guy I fought was a wrestler, short, stocky, very muscular guy, that I could go out there, I could take him down, and I could smash him. He was the wrestler. I've never wrestled a day in high school, middle school. I just learned here from Jeff and Back to Basics. We wrestle on Fridays. We go at it, and yeah, I think honestly, just wrestling with Back to Basics has already put me in a level higher than a lot of these, true wrestlers. I don't care, like, and I train with a lot of wrestlers, a lot of college, high school wrestlers come in our gym, so I feel like I get good feeds, and I'm not afraid of them at all. Zero.
Do you have one final message to Eric Zane before you guys get locked in the cage together?
Honestly, no, it's not personal to me. All these different guys I'm fighting in the amateurs, like, I don't like them, I don't dislike them, I don't care. I'm just doing this to get experience, to get better myself. All I say is, hopefully he stays injury free and he pulls up November 9th. I don't have doubts or anything, but I just don't want any pullouts, anything like that. So no personal message, nothing like that. I'm just gonna be there, he'll be there, and it'll be a good night. It'll be a good event, and don't miss it. It'll be good.
For any of the new fans that haven't seen you, what should the Plymouth Memorial Hall expect from Ruben Bitar on November 9th?
I'll say one thing is that when I go to fight, I'm not gonna have a boring fight. I never want to have a boring fight. if I'm grappling, I want to have good offensive grappling where I'm doing damage like my last fight. I'm not just gonna stay in top mount or top guard and just hold position to win rounds. That's absolutely not what I want. If I have a decision, I almost consider that as a loss. Like, why didn't I finish him? What was the mistakes that I made? I'm not gonna be happy with that. I want to finish him. I want to have effective grappling, effective striking, and a submission threat at all times. I think that cruising to decision victories, that's not what I like. That's not what I like to see watching fights myself. So whether it's in the grappling or whether it's in the striking, everyone in the hall, they're gonna see good pace, damage in all areas, and a finish at any moment. That's all I can say.
Now we're gonna get into my last couple questions.
Mhm.
If you could compare yourself to any animal, what animal would it be and why?
Oof, that's a very good question. Um, I would say if I compare myself to an animal, it would be maybe. Maybe this is a very interesting take. I'm gonna say mongoose. Why do I say mongoose? So you should watch some videos about it so you have no idea what I'm talking about. They're actually they can like fight and kill snakes. Mongoose look like very, they look like, docile, whatever, nice creatures, and they go out there and they kill cobras, they kill these, much more dangerous animals. Like my last fight when this guy flexed in the face off, everyone was like, damn, like he's ripped, jacked, whatever, and I'm like kind of like a skinnier guy. But when push comes to shove, I think I'll dominate them the same way they dominate their opponents. So that's what I'll say.
What is Ruben Bitar's MMA Mount Rushmore?
Very good question. I think number one, it has to be John Jones. I can see people arguing, against it just because he's like, just because of all like the PED use, the drug use. So, but I'll put him number one just because he's too rounded, he's too good. He's no one's ever really figured him out fully. So number one, John Jones. Number two, I think I'm gonna put Demetrius Johnson just because same thing. He's just a mixed martial artist. He does everything so well. Pure striking, pure grappling, submission threat, damage everywhere. Very good role model for anyone to follow. And hyper athletic as well. And then third. I think you could. I would say if Anderson Silva didn't, keep losing towards the end of his career, and if he retired in the right time, I would put him there. He could be even two or one, but I think that that tainted his career a little bit. So I would put GSP as number three. He left on top. He was also effective. He was a good, mixed martial artist again. Didn't rely on one thing. Like me, he never had a wrestling background, but he found confidence in wrestling and out wrestled a lot of wrestlers. So yeah, I'll put GSP as number three. Number four, oh, so number four would be what's it called? I forgot there was four in Mount Rushmore. Number four is Anderson Silva.
If you could fight anyone in the world, past or present, who would it be and why?
That's a good question. You know, this is an interesting answer, but I would say Genghis Khan. Why do I say Genghis Khan? Because he was like a great conqueror, ruler. He did all this stuff, but like that, he was very tactical, did it through armies and stuff. I want to see if he's about it one on one. Like maybe he is a badass, maybe he's not. I don't know. So I would like to scrap with him and see what's up. I think I'll take him with the modern training methods.
Who is one person from your gym you would go to a zombie apocalypse with?
Oh, definitely Jeff, my coach Jeff Perez. Like he'll come with some AKs. I'll have some AKs. The zombies will come, no problem. We'll take them out, shoot them down, mow them down. We can survive. We can do it. Like he was in the military. He went to Iraq. He did all this crazy shit. Yeah, I would take him over most people in the world, not just the gym. Like, I think we'd go take out some zombies, no problem.
Do you have any special shout outs to sponsors, supporters, and teammates before I let you go?
Um, I just want to shout out my gym, back to basics. They helped me a lot. They've got me where I am now in terms of MMA, my MMA journey. I want to shout out my gym. I also obviously my coach Jeff Perez and my training partners over Back to Basics, and then I also want to shout out my gym that I started jiu-jitsu in Qatar because they're the ones who gave me a love of mixed martial arts. I mean, sorry, of jiu-jitsu and martial arts. So United Qatar. Professor Ismail, he's a very nice guy. He runs United Qatar. He's always been nice to me, kind to me, and he kept my interest in jiu-jitsu very high. and also my first coach, Akil Bilal. He really was a very good instructor. I did some like basic striking with him in jiu-jitsu back in the day, and he made me love the martial arts, not just watching them, but doing them in person. And, they gave me a passion to want to come to the US, want to pursue this MMA dream and find back to basics, which I found now, which is a great MMA school with a great coach and great staff. So I want to shout out back to basics as well, and that's it. So yeah,
All right, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure to have you.
thank you very much. Bye.